Robert E. Strong Jr. is a former United States Air Force Staff Sergeant. He served as a signals intelligence analyst with NSA CSS Hawaii and an all-source intelligence targeting analyst for the Counter-IED Targeting Program. He was twice deployed to Fallujah, Iraq in support of the 1st and 2nd Marine Expeditionary Forces, as well as Naval Special Warfare Teams 3 and 5. Robert entered the food sector in 2012, launching Pretty Thai for a White Guy food truck in Austin, TX. He transitioned from food service to a consumer packaged goods (CPG) company, Pretty Thai Specialty Sauces and Spices, in 2015, and now sells his products in 900-plus retail locations in 8 states. Robert is a founder, director of the Palmer Nicklaus Foundation, 501(c)(3). The Palmer Nicklaus Foundation's mission is to put good into the world in honor of their son Palmer, who passed from CHD and heterotaxy syndrome in 2017.
Welcome to the MilCom Founders Podcast, where we champion and celebrate the military community business founders. In each episode, we will talk with a MilCom business founder to learn how they work through various obstacles and opportunities in business and in life. I'm your host, Rob Loches. Let's meet today's guest. Welcome to the MilCom Founders Podcast. Today's guest is Robert Strong. We get to champion and celebrate Robert today. He's a former Air Force intelligence analyst who traded code breaking for cooking and built Pretty Thai into a nationally recognized sauce and spice brand. Robert, welcome to the show today. Thank you for your time today.
I appreciate you having me, Rod.
Absolutely. So, Robert, what's your ideal morning look like? What would your ideal morning look like? Every day you wake up, you go, what's it look?
I think my ideal morning would be to first not have to get up to an alarm clock. And then from there, I would love, I'm a big golfer, or at least I was. As you get busier and busier with business, it's hard to get out there. There's nothing to me better than getting out on the golf course as the dew is on the ground and the sun's just coming up and it's just cool. And you're just, I don't know. It's just, that's my happy place, especially that time of day. Once you get to 2 in the afternoon here in Texas, it's 100 degrees and it's still fun, but it's just not the same. So that'd be my ideal morning. Get up without an alarm clock, get out, play a few holes, and then start my day.
Yeah. And what's your course? What's your home course?
Well, that's the thing. I don't have a home course technically. We just moved from Austin to Bernie, San Antonio area. So there's a course here in the Bulverde area called Canyon Springs. And I just played it again for the first time of the year on Sunday, thinking about trying to join that. And if I can get out and play a couple of days a week, I do like it. It's a great layout. It's a fun course. It's a difficult course. So I would say probably Canyon Springs is what I'm going for.
Well, it's a beautiful part of the world too. That and green. I love green, Bernie, Fredericksburg, all that down there is just, it's fantastic. So that's for sure. And then, what's your handicap? Do you still have a handicap, or what do you
2022 handicap?
Sure.
When I was playing twice a week and I was playing in the Veterans Golf Association and traveling and actually winning tournaments, I was a 6 at that time, and I was trending down.
Okay.
Now I'm probably like a 12, if I were to be honest. But it's like riding a bike. Get a few rounds in you, and I'm back down to single digit. But
very cool. Very cool. So the MilCom Founders Podcast, I want to champion and celebrate you and inspire and educate other military founders, business founders. But take me back to why in the world did you ever think about joining the military? What was that first thought that you're like, hey, this is for me?
This is probably going to sound cliche to a lot of my generation, but 9/11. For me, it was because I grew up in New York State, Western New York. I was going to school at Ithaca College, Central New York. So we were about 3.5 hours from the city. And I was a junior in college. And I remember, like most people, exactly where I was eating a bowl of cereal on my pleather couch, watching TV. I thought, is this a movie? So I kept changing channels, looking for a different, and it wasn't a movie. And I just remember going onto campus that day, and so many, my girlfriend at the time had friends and family that worked in the trade centers. So many of the people that were coming from the city that went to school there, from New Jersey, from right outside of Manhattan. So as you can probably imagine, it was it was a very difficult time for everybody, but these people had family members that were in the trade center, in the towers.
Mm.
I did not, but I don't know, something sparked me. And I hadn't grown up in a military family. I had some relatives that had been in the military a long time ago, Vietnam, but they didn't volunteer for that. They were drafted,
Mhm.
right? So I never was growing up around that mentality, but as soon as this happened, something just lit a fire, and I immediately just gained a new perspective and appreciation for what I had and what we
Yeah.
had in this country just instantly. And then another guy in my class said, "Hey, I just joined ROTC at Cornell." He was a year behind me. It was too late for me to do that. So I
Mhm.
tried going officer in the Air Force once I graduated with my degree from Ithaca. But for whatever reason, they weren't bringing people in. So I had a little short hiatus and I moved to Daytona Beach, Florida. And I was like, I'm just going to wait tables and bartend and, have fun. But it just was like still itching at me. So I literally 4 months after that, I went to the recruiter office in Daytona Beach, Florida. And I said, I want to be James Bond. And he's like, okay, well, take the ASVAB first. And I did.
Oh, right, right.
And I scored really high on that. And he's like, okay, you can do whatever you want. And I said,
Uh-huh.
oh, I want Intel. And that was that. I was going through MEPS a few months later. And just before Christmas in 2003, I was actually right down the road here where I'm at now in
Yeah.
Conklin.
Yep. Because all Air Force goes to Laughlin, right?
Yeah. Yeah. For enlisted. Yeah.
Yeah. Unbelievable. And so your intel, what does that mean? How does it relate to making Thai
It
spice and sauce?
Intel itself doesn't. I was a 1 in 4. My FSC was a 1 in 4, which was a signals intelligence analyst. And I was forward deployed to Hawaii. So I was stationed at Hickam, now Hickam Pearl Harbor, and then I worked at Kania Naval Installation. I worked technically for NSA CSS Hawaii.
Oh,
And so that was my mission out there. And that was 4 years active duty doing that. And I loved Hawaii when I got the chance to enjoy it. I worked underground in the dark, shift work for 3 straight years.
mm,
I didn't enjoy SIGINT as much. I actually, my last 3.5, 4 years was as a civilian, and I got out of off active duty because I wanted to deploy and do intel.
uh-huh.
And we weren't able to do that. They said, if you're going to deploy in the Air Force, you're going to go over and watch third party nationals clean porta johns. And I said, I have a TSSCI polygraph. I want to do intel. I don't want to watch people clean porta johns in the desert.
Yeah.
I want to actually, have a meaningful impact. So I had to get out, and then I got out and worked for the National Ground Intelligence Center for the Counter-IED Targeting Program in Charlottesville, Virginia. And that's what allowed me to deploy twice to Fallujah working for that
Uh-huh.
program. And that's what the second deployment got me. Took a trip to Thailand, blown away, fell in love with Thai food. And that's what ultimately led me onto the journey of my food truck into Pretty Thai.
Mhm. Wow. So when you're in the military, what's one or two things that you learned that has been a cornerstone of your success in business? Or those guiding thoughts, moments, ideas?
Yeah, I would say one of the core principles of the Air Force is integrity first. And I have, whether it's been a principle that's helped me thus far, I don't know. TBD. I like to think it does, and I like to think in the long term it will. But just having integrity, not cutting corners, being honest, right? When nobody's looking, doing the right thing at all times. And that's really what I've tried to do in business with the food truck, with the product company. So that right there. And then I guess situational awareness,
Uh-huh.
being aware of what's going on around you and seeing things before they happen. And again, that's a great benefit. But I also feel like sometimes I like to say paralysis by analysis. I was an analyst, and I like to take all the intel I can get to try to make a decision. But sometimes you got to make decisions quickly. And if you don't have all the intel, you got to make the best informed decision possible.
Yeah.
And that's a
It's interesting
difficult
you
thing.
say that because the situational awareness, which I take even to this day, and I've been out for a long time, Robert, but um, I'm usually very aware of the situation, things going on around me. And I'll go all the details, but I was exhausted after 3 or 4 big days. And uh, I did, I'm not going to go into details. I'm still too embarrassed about it, but I did something stupid because I was just too damn tired. And I'm like, I should have just rested and I'd have been fine. But instead, I did this dumbass thing, and I lost, quite frankly, I lost my situational awareness. And I'm very thankful that nobody got hurt. And it just was a great reminder that, look, you can't go 4 or 5 days on 3 to 5 hours of sleep. At least not at my age, I can't do that anymore. And what a dumbass! So that situational awareness, I think that's a great reminder, and I feel like you're part of that reminder to keep me from doing some stupid stuff like that again. That's for sure. So thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, it's super important to me as well. It was something that they drove home a lot. I mean, obviously in the military in general, but I think even when I was working, I remember my supervisor used to put stuff on the wall walking up to the galley and just be like, we come back down. He's like, did you see what? And I'm like, we had to pay attention to everything when we were walking. He wanted us to look at everything. So it was very important.
Sticks the head on a swivel. Absolutely. Absolutely. So you go to Thailand, and that was with the civilian side of the military. And what happened? You found the spice that you would really like, or sauce, or how did this all?
Growing up where I grew up, Western New York, meat and potatoes. My mom was a great cook. She was a waitress and a cook in our small town diner. 2,000 people in my town, right? So very small. So I grew up around food, but I never had food like this. Hawaii was my first introduction to those kind of flavors. The first time I ever had cilantro was in Hawaii, but I wasn't a foodie yet. And I still think back now to this day, God, I was going deep sea fishing, catching fresh mahi-mahi, and it just stayed in my freezer and got freezer burnt. What was I thinking? That's my regret, right? I wasn't a foodie then. I liked cooking, but I wasn't a foodie until culinary school. So I actually got a food and wine magazine when I was stateside in Charlottesville, and it had a few Thai recipes in it. It was a summer grilling special. And I started making this one dish, this warm steak salad with mint and cilantro. And it was just like, wow, this is a phenomenal recipe. Fish sauce, lemongrass, lime, mint, cilantro. It was just a phenomenal. It's basically an excuse to eat steak. You put a few herbs in there and it's an excuse for guys to eat steak. So I used to serve it at potlucks for my office parties. And everybody's like, we got to have this recipe. We've got to have this recipe. I'd make it for all my first dates. I'd do everything. It was such a good recipe. So when I went to Thailand, I'm looking for that flavor profile, and I started getting all this different food. And I was just like, now mind you, I'd been working with the Navy SEALs in Fallujah for the last 6 months, eating really strict, following a strict diet, working out 7 days a week, 2 hours a day when we weren't working, right?
Right.
So I was in the best shape of my life, but I hadn't been eating anything for 6 months. So I went crazy, and I'm just like, I'm ordering everything. So I just ate everything I could possibly see. And I was just, every time I ate something different, I was just like, wow, that's even better than the last thing I got. It was better than, my palate was just overwhelmed in a good way. So when I moved back, decided to go to Austin, Texas, not to go to culinary, but to go to journalism school, I was just still so infatuated with the flavors. And what really blew my mind was like, I was cooking with them and like, these flavors go so well with everything that I'm used to eating. People think these are weird flavors, and they're not weird flavors. They're so dynamic. So that's where I initially had the idea when I was in my apartment on East Riverside Drive going to journalism school at UT. I had the idea for Pretty Thai for a White Guy, the food truck, because the food truck scene was so big in Austin at the time. It had just been going for 4 years, and it was right where it was really getting some traction, and they were everywhere. And I was like, God, I never thought about being a food entrepreneur before. And that's where it really sparked that.
How did you end up choosing Austin to live versus some of the other places in the world, or at least the U.S.?
I was choosing between USC and Austin because the schools, the programs had a great emphasis on sports broadcast journalism. There was more of an emphasis. So I wanted to be like a NFL sideline reporter or work for the Golf Channel and cover tournaments. That was my goal initially when I went there. So I knew, hey, I can go to UT. I heard great things. Austin was a very young city, a very fit city. So I was like, let's go there. And I feel like I'll vibe better there. And I can go cover the golf team, which has a ton of amazing PGA Tour pros now, top players in the world. And let me go cover the UT football team. And that seemed like fun to me.
Got it. But instead, you started getting enamored and amazed by this Thai food, the Thai food scene, I'll say. How did you decide to go and do a food truck? I think that's where you started, right?
Yeah, so the food truck, again, when I saw the food scene here in Austin, there were so many food trucks, and I thought, I didn't know what an entrepreneur was, to be honest. We didn't have entrepreneurs in my family really, and I didn't know what that was. So when I saw these food trucks, I was like, wow, you don't have to go out and get a restaurant. You can be your own boss. You don't. My thought was just what I saw my mom doing growing up is spending 10 hours in a kitchen every day. And I don't want to be on my feet in a kitchen for 10 plus hours on the line. Listen, I loved taking orders when I was over in Iraq and so forth, but I wanted to be my own boss. I didn't want to be taking orders from other people. So I didn't think it was something you could do. And then when I saw the food trucks, I was like, okay, you can. So I started looking into it and doing my research. And that's really where the start was. And then, of course, culinary school came about because I was watching Top Chef Texas at the time on the Bravo channel, and they were going all over Texas and they were in Austin. So that was really resonating with me. And I was like, I saw a commercial for the Cordon Bleu Culinary School on one of the episodes, and I was like, huh. So I literally called on the next day, got an appointment, walked in, did the tour. I was getting goosebumps. I was like, God, I got to do this. And
Yeah.
I dropped out of UT after that first semester and switched to culinary school.
Wow. Now, when you started your food truck, what was the name of the food truck?
Pretty Thai for a white guy.
And and how did the your guests, your customers, did they walk up to the truck and go, "It is a white guy," or how did that all play out?
Well, it was a tough first month or so. We went out and gotten a 32-foot old school bus, an old Bluebird diesel, and retrofitted it into a kitchen on wheels. We put a lot of money into it, and I don't like to do things half-assly, if I can say that. I don't
Yeah.
like I like doing things the right way. So we went and really fitted it out nicely. And the first month we were there, we were in way South Austin. I just assumed this is Austin. Great, seeing people are going to know what Thai food is, and they didn't. And people were just walking right by the truck. They were going to the burger place and getting these greasy burgers, and I'm like, I'm getting frustrated. So I just started doing what I know best. I started going out and talking to people, and I'm walking out there with the food, and I'm just going by and putting in front of somebody's face as I walk by them, like, oh, this is what you're missing out on. And eventually people started to give us a try, and it took a few months. And I don't really think people, at least then, people looked at us and said, you're doing Thai food? They just tasted it and were like, wow, like this is Thai food? And I was like, yeah, that's Thai food, right? We did it authentic, and then we did our fusion. And
Uh-huh.
we would get so many different reactions, but it was always a positive reaction. We got really great feedback, and we were able to, within the first 6 months, the cooking channel reached out to us, and we were featured on season 5 of Eat Street. And it was entitled Pretty Thai for a White Guy was the whole episode. They filmed 5 food trucks in Austin. We were one of them, and it was Pretty Thai for a White Guy was the episode. Season 5, episode 12. The show's been off the air for over a decade now, but I've had people recognize me randomly from it a while back. Like, I was seeing an old episode. Oh my God. So
Wow. Very cool. Very cool. So then, you start the food truck and starts catching on, but there's still a big leap from going to that to what you do today. So how did you make that transition? And tell me about this business that you're running.
yeah. So my wife and I joke more about that she does, but we're both trained chefs. She's got a background. We met in culinary school. She's got a background in nutrition. She went to Texas A&M, got a nutrition degree before she moved to Austin. That's where we met. And I always joke that I'm just a military analyst, intelligence analyst with a culinary degree. Neither of us had business. Neither of us had a business background, so we didn't know what we
Yep.
were getting ourselves into. So I'm just very passionate, attention to detail type of individual. When I try something, I really put my all into it. So I was really passionate about Thai food, and I thought we're going to be doing a restaurant. And the food truck lifestyle, while it was great, it's not a lifestyle it's more of a single person lifestyle. Let's put it that way. It's not a
Yeah, I
lifestyle
bet.
for trying to raise a family, trying to start a family. You're out till 2, 3, 4 in the morning. It's really busy. It's a lot different than what you expect. So I thought when people started asking me for the sauces we were making, our sweet chili sauce was our original, and they come up to me and said, this is amazing sauce. Can I get this sauce? I thought, well, forget the restaurant. Let's look at trying to bottle this and see what that looks like. So
Mhm.
I started going to the HEBs, the Whole Foods, all the groceries around Austin and looking at the shelves and being like, is it being done? Right? I knew enough to know you've got to
Right.
find that gap in the market. Is it being done? And it wasn't being done the way we do it, which is from I say a chef natural standpoint, zero
Mhm.
fake ingredients. So that's
Mm.
really the impetus behind the idea of Pretty Thai was to bottle what we were doing, bottle the essence of what we were trying to do in the food truck, which is bring people together through food, give you a unique, I always say oftentimes authentic, but unapologetic focus on flavor.
Yeah.
We're going to give you an authentic pad thai, an authentic green curry, but we're going to give you a stuffed green curry burger that's really unique, or a Thai nachos that are really unique that you've never had before, Thai quesadillas, and do it in an elevated manner. So
Mhm.
that's what set us down the road, was me thinking, oh, this will be easier than doing a restaurant. This
Yeah.
is, and it's night and day, but it's not easier. And
I
that's what I
bet not.
think.
So, and you started making the sauces commercially how long ago?
We started bottling them 2014, 15 and selling them in the Texas Hill Country. We'd go up to wineries like in Comfort, because we moved the food truck to Bernie for a year after our first year in Austin, and we started selling in the food truck at some bars in Bernie. And then we would start selling the sauces and spices. We'd just drive up 20, 30 minutes to Comfort and start selling them at Bending Branch Winery. And that was that. And then we did a whole move to California for almost a year, and we're selling in farmers markets in Southern California before we came back to Austin at the end of 2015.
What are some of the challenges you've faced and had to overcome while building your business?
I would go back to that, not having a business background. That was a big challenge. And also, we always say, I wish one of us was a marketing person, because we're not, and marketing is huge. You can have the best product in the world. If nobody knows about it, doesn't
Yeah.
really exist. And vice versa. You can have a so-so product, but if you're great at marketing, you can do pretty well. Unfortunately, that's just the way it works. So I think that first and foremost, I wish we had a better marketing background from the beginning, because it would have gotten us a lot further, a lot quicker, I think.
Mm.
And just, I say this a lot, especially I'm involved in a lot of different veteran organizations. I think
Yeah.
that's how we met,
Yep.
right? But
IVMF. Yep.
yeah, I didn't know about those programs for the first 6 years of doing business. And maybe they
Right.
weren't, I know Bunker came about around 2014. So I could have known about it, after a few years, but I didn't find out about Bunker until just before COVID.
Yeah.
I was in veteran in
Yep.
residence in 2020. So 7 years after I started the food truck is when I first got into my first group like that, which has been invaluable, staying involved in these groups, because it's just given me more insight into business, into people, and to learning things that
Yep.
I didn't know.
Right. Yeah. The community, once we avail ourselves, Robert, I kind of forgot about being a veteran for 30 years.
Hmm.
But once I got back involved in it, I was like, why have I not been involved in this the whole time? What great resource, time to trust. The integrity, as you said, is just, incomparable. So you're making the sauces, but then you started another business somewhere along the way, right?
Yeah, so I have the kitchen business now, Wingman Kitchens, which is a business that I started with
Great
another
name.
business partner of mine in 2018, 19. So we were just getting into HEB in 2018, 19. We were finalists for their statewide competition, Quest for Texas Best. At the same time, I was just about to open up our Austin kitchen location for Wingman with my business partner for that business. And so now we have 5 locations in Texas, 3 in
Oh,
Houston, the flagship in Austin. And I'm the co-founder,
uh-huh.
but I'm a sweat equity guy in that, right? So I'm the kitchen guy. So I'm the one that designed the kitchen originally, passed that off to the architect, and then I'm the one that does the kitchen stuff and the layouts and what equipment to put in there. And because I have the background of working in kitchens, my business partner, he has the degree from St. Edwards in entrepreneurship, and he's really good at the networking and the business acumen side of it
Yeah.
for that. So we work pretty well together from that standpoint. And we've been able to do very well with that business. And I just actually, that's where I'm at now, is in that new location in San Antonio, where we expanded to, after a 3-year search, we finally got a location off of I-10 Wurzbach area. So now I manage the new location here as well as do my manufacturing out of this space. So it allows me
Got it.
to open up and do my manufacturing.
And how do you know? I don't remember. I know you know Graham, my friend Tom West, our friend Graham Weston.
Yeah.
What's the connection that we share? How did you meet Graham?
Yeah. So I met Graham through the Texas Business Hall of Fame. I was through Bunker. I was nominated in 2021 for the Veteran Business Award with the Texas Business Hall of Fame. And I was fortunate enough to get it. So I was a future Texas business legend. It's a really long name.
Uh
It's a lot of words.
huh.
And through that program, I've been able to meet Graham. Graham's extremely generous of his time for the folks in the Business Hall of Fame. He does a lot of things for the Business Hall of Fame. He's, I would say, probably the most active legend, as we call them, the legends of Texas business that get nominated into the program. And then there's just us that are the awardees. Usually they're students that go through university, and most of them all have, like myself, have a philanthropic aspect to what we do. And I have my foundation, my 501c3 that I do. So with that, along with Wingman and with Pretty Thai, I was able to get into that program. And I've been involved with Graham and some executive leadership groups that he's helped run. So yeah, that's how I know Graham.
God, yep, yeah, great guy. He does give a lot of his time back to the community. That's for sure. So, what's some advice that you would offer other veteran entrepreneurs or other nice people too? But what were those insights? I mean, you've been involved in really 3 startups. I mean, call what you want, but the food truck, Wingman, and Pretty Thai. That's a lot of learnings that you've had along the way. What are some of those thoughts you'd share with other people think about getting business or in business?
Yeah, the first thing I say, especially because we are at the forefront here at Wingman, when people come in and they want to rent space and I find out that they're a veteran, I help everybody, but I really have a soft spot for veterans, right? And I
Yep.
want to make sure that they can excel. And the first thing is you need to know what resources you have available. And
Mhm.
you need to be able to reach out to this organization or this organization in the community and get insights. If you're starting up an entity in Texas, now you can go set that up for free. You don't have to pay the fee with the state of Texas, but also look at this program because they might go to help you get the legal side of it set up instead of having to go out and pay a lawyer $1,000, $2,000 because money is a bottleneck in the beginning.
Yep.
And then it's also get involved. Get involved. I think veterans are really bad at this, more so than your traditional civilian who's never went through. We don't like to ask for help. Got to do it all ourselves. And I'm very much guilty of this. You've got to let go of that. You have to ask for help from people. You have to learn from other people, get the insights, because you're not going to build anything meaningful by yourself. And if there's anybody out there that said that they're self-made 100%, they did everything on their own, they're full of it. They're full of it.
That's right. That's right.
They're full
That's
of it.
right.
So those would be the biggest things, is just really get out there and get in the community and network and find other veterans, find organizations like what's going through with IVMF
Yep.
and a Warrior Rising, programs that are out there that really genuinely want to help veterans succeed.
That's right. That's right. So it's interesting you just said IVMF and Warrior Rising, 2 great organizations. Other than those 2, what resources, books, podcasts, personalities, whatever the case may be, that you have found helpful to you in building your business?
Yeah, it's tough. I'm not going to lie. I don't do a lot of reading. My brain does not allow me to do a lot of reading. I like to try to listen to some audio stuff at times, but my brain goes so much that I tend to try to just deviate over into I'm going to listen to this. I like to listen to my football team in DC. I like to listen to the broadcast stuff because it just gets my brain off of stuff for a little bit, because I know as soon as I stop, my brain's going right back to Pretty Thai in business and I can't shut it down. So I tend to lean heavily on the groups that I'm in. I'm involved in multiple cohorts with CEO Circle, with IVMF, Bunker previously. So I've had a lot of people there, and a lot of people that I have on my team now, my fractional CMO, my fractional COO, I've all been connected through that organization. People that are very vital in my organization now, helping me scale this business at this point because of those organizations. So with the Business Hall of Fame, I'm involved in my executive leadership group. I'm the city chair of the San Antonio Alumni Association. I try to stay heavily involved in these organizations because I'm putting myself in a room with the smartest people.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's the best. I can listen to podcasts all day, and sometimes I do. None of them really resonate with me as much as the conversations I have with people in real life.
Yeah. Yeah. So what is next for you and your Pretty Tie? What's the next step?
Yeah, it's been a step. I've been trying to get to the drive more brand awareness, get more growth stage. And I'm hopeful now that with the people that I've been able to bring on board that we're putting together a good plan of how to execute on that. We're about to do a full probably rebrand with Pretty Tie as far as the packaging, potentially even the logo, just because with the person I've just brought on as COO, he was able to take some of the connections he has and get a really big agency to go do a shelf audit in our Walmart set, and found out people aren't seeing us. The first 4 glances don't go to Pretty Tie, and you've only got about 2 seconds to get the attention of the consumer at the shelf. And if you're not
That's
getting that, you're losing. So, but we have a really high repurchase rate. So we know that if we can get the visibility fixed, we will get the repurchase, and we will grow, and then we'll be able to attract more and more retailers. And from there, it's just a domino effect. So
Have you looked at the pen fed you're in Walmart, right?
yes,
Are you in all of them or just like one?
no,
region, or
we're just in just a little over. We'll be in a little over 300 here soon. We're in about 300 right now in Texas.
300 in Texas alone. Wow. Okay. Congratulations. And then the Pen Fed Credit Union has a program for veterans. Have you heard of that one?
Yes, I had applied for that a long time ago. And at that time, when I applied for it, it was very tech focused.
Yes, it was.
So they're like, we just don't think you're going to fit into the curriculum because it's so tech focused. Last year, I was able to talk to somebody at Edge, and they said, yeah, it's changed a lot. I think you should reach out. I haven't yet, just because I was just getting through some other programs and I'm trying to focus on just getting where we're at. But I think that has been something that's been on my radar.
Well, if it's okay with you, I can put you in touch with Rachel Miller. She's the program manager for the accelerator and the incubator both. And if that's
No, I'm never going to turn down an introduction. That's
Well,
the only
I
piece of
think-
advice I'll give to people.
That's right.
Never.
That's right.
Somebody's willing to help you, don't say no.
Yeah, because they have a incubator accelerator every year or twice a year in Bentonville, Arkansas. So it could be a good connection into further relationships at Walmart. So
Yeah.
it's worth a conversation, right?
Yeah, no.
Perhaps.
And then, so to what's the future? I want to grow Pretty Tie. My nonprofit is very important to me. The goal has always been to grow Pretty Tie to help support the nonprofit and be the vehicle to do that. So being able to do that is something that's important to me. I've had to put on the back burner for, God, I feel like the last 5 years, and and I've had a lot of advice from people, especially in the Business Hall of Fame, some very, very high up legends that have since passed away, but they told me, you've got to build this business to be a success before you can do that philanthropic part of it. But it's tough for me, Rod, because it's so close and dear to my heart that it's really difficult for me to say, I'll just keep pushing it off. It's really what drives me and motivates me every single day to get up and keep doing this.
Yes.
What I'm doing. So it's
Do
important.
you want to talk about your nonprofit?
Yeah, I can go into that a little bit. Yeah, so the nonprofit is the Palmer Nicklaus Foundation. It's in honor of my son Palmer, who passed away 9 years ago now. It feels like yesterday for anybody who's ever lost a child. It doesn't go away with time. Time doesn't heal all wounds. It's just a matter of how do you redirect that pain to try to make the most of it. So we started the foundation a year after we lost him. We did our first event, then COVID hit. We've done some since then. We've donated to several families and several causes, including veteran causes, because for us, it's all about just putting good back into the world in his honor, in Palmer's honor, and then figuring out as we go, how can we do it? I actually have my first event here on Thursday at the Christus Children's Hospital. We're going to start a program with them, a chef program where we're going to go in and this first one's just going to be a pickling class, making pickles and show them how to make pickles. Just get the families out, get their minds off the room of what's going on with their child. The beeping for even an hour is important. We spent 47 days between Dell Children's and Texas Children's Hospital, so I can attest to how crazy those machines can make you, because that's all you care about. So yeah, our goal was to really just drive awareness to CHD and to heterotaxy, which is something that's very rare. You can look it up, but it just means different arrangement and your organs are reversed. In our case, Palmer's heart was reversed. It was backwards, which caused a lot of his conditions. And ultimately it was too complex. So Pretty Thai was the vehicle, and I want to go back. So I've had the crazy idea this last 6 months, and I want to come to fruition with it, is to go back to the food truck. Something I thought I'd never say, but purely as a way to, one, market Pretty Thai so we can grow more. Because when we grow, we're able to do more with the foundation. The more we grow with Pretty Thai, the more we can feed the families in the fight. And the goal was to take the food truck and go park it out front of HEBs, Walmarts, events throughout Texas.
I see.
And then and showcase the brand, and then also say, hey, by the way, if you're supporting us by either buying a bottle or donating right here to our foundation, tomorrow, next week, we're taking this food truck and we're going to go park outside of Texas Children's Hospital or Dell Children's in Austin or Chris's Children's in San Antonio or Dallas Children's, and we're going to feed the families.
Wow.
Because as much as I want to say, hey, it can wait, not doing that is eating me up. It's making what I'm doing not fun. And I got into this because I enjoyed it and I wanted it to be fun. So
Understood, Robert. God bless you. I usually say this at the end. I usually make a donation of $100 to the Dick Loges Scholarship Fund for children of military families. But Robert, I'd like to donate $100 to your foundation, and as a thank you for your time today. I very much appreciate it, and appreciate your being so open and transparent with your learnings and everything. That's for sure.
Well,
So thank you.
I appreciate that too.
Absolutely. You're very welcome. Let's so wrapping up, what can we, the veteran community, do to champion and celebrate you and Pretty Thai or Wingman?
Yeah, just share it. I think that's the biggest thing. Word of mouth is an amazing tool. We've lived off of that, honestly, for the last decade. So I think we have an amazing product. I think we have a product that resonates and that can be a household name. That's why we continue to push and fight so hard. So I think if you go out and purchase Pretty Thai, share it with your friends, give it away as gifts, reach out to me at any time and ask me, hey, how do I use this? I'll do it. Talk to you anytime about food and how to cook with it and so forth. But that's really the biggest way for me. Yeah, I don't need anything other than what people have already been providing, which has been support and just genuine connection.
Yep. Understood. So, all right. Well, thank you so much for your time and insights today. Very much appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us on the MilCom Founders Podcast. If you know a MilCom founder with a story to share, reach out to us at milcomfounders.com. For each guest on our show, One Degree Financial donates $100 to the Dick Loges Veteran Entrepreneur Scholarship Fund, supporting education for children of a MilCom business owner. Stay ready.